Thank you all. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure for us to hear you all play over these last days. An honor, actually. Thank you so much for all your effort and your hard work. We're going to go through the panel, and each judge will just tell you what they learned and what they heard. We're going to start with our most experienced judge, Mr. Bob Morgan.
Test. Hi. First of all, I'm thrilled to be here. I brought my band from Houston here in 1999, and I haven't been back since, and it's so great to be back. And I don't need to tell you what a wonderful experience this is. It's nice to be a winner and all that, but seriously and truly, the important thing is that you're here and taking a bath in this wonderful art form, in this wonderful temple to that art form. So with your applause, show me that you agree with me. Now, we were asked briefly to talk about something to maybe help you. And I'd like to address the lead players. The lead trumpet player playing with the ensemble, the lead alto playing sax solo, a lead trombone player playing a trombone solo. I know they don't happen often, it's not my fault, etc. And what I would like you young people dealing with those chairs is to think about being more individual in those chairs. A great lead player puts his or her personality into the playing in terms of vibrato, scoops, whatever. It's just like a great soloist. It's sometimes hard to put into words. But what I used to tell I'm retired, I already said that. What I used to tell my students at home, the lead players, think of your part like a written out, improvised jazz solo. You know, like you transcribe a jazz solo. Okay, but think of your lead part like that, which means that you put personality into it, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll just take a few seconds to talk to the lead trumpet players, who are, of course, the quarterback of the big band, right? Right. Okay. Am I in trouble? Am I in trouble? Check it out, and I'll just mention 2 examples, and then I'll move on. We'll move on. Go to YouTube and check out Snooky Young playing with the Thad Jones Mel Lewis Big Band. He's playing on most, not all, but most of the tunes. Check out his style. Like I already said, the vibrato, etc. Then you're going to be surprised at this. Go to YouTube or your grandparents' house and check out the Frank Sinatra and Nelson Riddle recordings and listen to the great Conrad Gazzo. A lot of you never heard that name, but he is the lead trumpet player on most of those recordings. Total different style, but that's the point. That's the point. When it comes to lead playing, I'm just concentrating on trumpet at the moment, but I could say the same thing and give examples for lead alto in the sax section, et cetera. But I'll just close with repeating, all you lead players, think of your part as a written out, improvised jazz solo, and put your own personality into it. So that the next person playing that part, it's not you. Only you can play it in that way, and you will enjoy it more. And it's just the way it's supposed to be. A grown-up big band, you know, that's just the way it's supposed to be. And I'll just close with congratulating all of you on being here. Pardon me, and wish you all the best. And it's been an honor to be here this weekend. Thank you.
Sean Jones.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's been a great pleasure for the past couple days to hear all of you, and it's great to be sitting on this stage without a horn. But seriously, this is a really wonderful experience, and it's going to go with you for the rest of your life. My comments will be specific at first, and they'll lead into more of a general statement. The specific thing I want to share with you is there were a lot of great soloists throughout the past couple of days. One of the things that I want you to think about as you develop your soloing is think about the details. Think about the phrase endings. Think about the contour of what you play, not just the notes themselves. A lot of times we play harmonic devices or licks or patterns that we learn that don't really mean anything or don't have an association to what's going on in the band or in the rhythm section. So really think about the details. How do you start that line? How do you make inflections happen in that line, and how do you end it? Make it more than just about the notes and cool licks, okay? Because the reality is that all of these licks that you've heard have been played millions of times in varying scenarios, and the ones that stick are the ones that connect to the music that's being heard around it. So really pay attention to that. More general statement is that you're all in a room with your peers, okay? These people you're going to see either on gigs, in concerts, on boards, on jobs for the rest of your lives. Allow the music to continue to connect you, get closer, because you will see each other again. Not necessarily on the stage, but in other situations where you'll have the opportunity to support the music in some kind of a fashion, okay? So connect with people from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, different schools. Get to know them. They will be your friends, I promise you. And the last thing that I want to say is that I'm from a very small town in Warren, Ohio, that no one expected. Oh, one person. All right. Very small town in Warren, Ohio, and no one expected me to ever be sitting next to this gentleman and playing in the band. And there are two things that got me to where I was. One, I believed it, and the other one is I worked for it. There's a quick story I want to share with you. Okay, it's a fictional story. There's a vampire in a house chasing a guy, okay? You might have heard this before. Vampire chases this guy, pins him in the corner, and the vampire's like, I'm gonna get you, okay? The guy, out of the corner of his eye, sees a cross on the wall, takes the cross off the wall and says, gotcha. The vampire does this, crushes the cross in his hand. The guy's confused. Why didn't this kill you? I thought you were afraid of this thing. The vampire says, silly man, you got to believe in that thing in order for it to work. Okay? No matter where you're from, what you do, believe in the skills that you are developing now and work for them, and it'll take you further than you could ever possibly imagine. Thank you.
Eria von Kleist.
Thank you. I used to be sitting right where you were when I was in high school. Actually, no, I was not sitting right where you were. I was sitting in Avery Fisher Hall before this building was even built. 20 years ago was my first Essentially Ellington in 1997. Can you believe it? You guys didn't even exist. That blows my mind. I remember that feeling of excitement and that feeling of anticipation and wonder that you all are feeling right now. And I want to make sure you all remember that, because Essentially Ellington was one of the most pivotal moments and one of the most memorable moments of my young adult life. And I'm so proud of all of you for being a part of this and for all the hard work you've put into this music. And you all are doing it justice. So I want to just acknowledge everybody. One thing I want to talk about is sound. And can we all sit up really straight right now? And can we all take a big, deep breath from our gut? Like, big. I'm talking like down here and let it out. Okay? You feel where that connection is? This is where your center is. This is where the center of your sound is going to come from. Sax players, your sound does not come from your mouthpiece. It comes from down here. It does not come from your reed, your ligature. It comes from your gut, and it comes from the ground. Think about any great saxophonist you like to emulate, like Charlie Parker or Johnny Hodges or Joe Temperley or Chris Potter. Any of these great saxophone players, when you hear them, they have overtones and they have layers and layers of harmonics in their sound, and it's because it comes from here. So next year, hopefully I'm back here, and hopefully I'm here checking out the bands. I want to see you all breathing more and centering your sound. Because the first thing that people are going to remember about your solos and about your section playing is your sound, and it's your identity. And one anecdote, when I was at the Juilliard School, at the jazz program when it first started, Wynton was one of our clinicians in the improvisation class. And I remember he went around the room and asked everybody, in one sentence, or in just a couple of words, can you describe your sound? And that's something I want you all to think about when you go home today. Or not today, but tomorrow, or when you guys are going back to your rehearsals, back to your place. What is your sound? And I remember I said, my sound is humble, yet outspoken and abrasive. And that is still true today. And that was an incredible lesson for me as a young musician to connect with that reality, that your sound comes from here. And it's an important part of who you are as a musician. So congrats to all of you, and thank you.
Jeff Hamilton.
Thank you. Sound is so important. I agree so much with what's been said up here already. To achieve the sound from the drums, I'll speak to the drummers for one moment. Wynton and I were sitting next to each other for most of the 2 days and commenting on this. The drummers need to get their identity through their ride cymbal beat. We all have a different beat. It's ding da 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 da, or ding dig a ding dig a ding, or mine happens to be day dag a day dag a day dag a day. It's a fat, wide beat that the band can crawl in. Sing the beat that you want to play, keep singing it, and then emulate that on your ride cymbal. Make that attachment that Erica was talking about, the connection with what you're singing to what you play. Anyone in this room who can sing anything can play it. Sing what you want to play. But especially for drummers, because we don't think about that. We're thrown a slab of rubber and a pair of sticks and told to go mama, dada, while everybody else is playing long tones on their first lesson. So it takes drummers a little longer to realize that, oh, we can make music with this. So make sure that you have that connection with your ride cymbal beat, because we feel that that was missing in a lot of the bands today. So get that connection. That's the foundation of the time for the band that the band begs for. So give them what they need. We talked about the oversized stuffed sofa the other day. Keep that in mind. Generally, my comment is that I feel like this is such a healthy situation here for all of us. Not so much the competition, but just to be in this room with people who love the same thing and have the passion for the same thing. What you learn from this experience and what you can learn from music and what your incredible band directors teach you is so valuable that whatever you do, whether it's music or any line of work that you go in, you're going to take this experience and know who you are personally and know the teamwork that it takes to sound like one person with 16 other people. And you'll make that work in whatever field you choose. But also take the joy with you that comes from playing this music. The first time we played a note on the piano at 3 years old, a big smile went across our face. We said, I want to do that again. And so you keep going, to the note on the piano. Don't lose that joy that you had as a kid. That should be underlying for all of this music that you play. And whether you know it or not, it does connect with the audience when you're playing. They can feel that joy. So keep the joy in the music and carry these great experiences with you through your entire life. And thank you for sharing your wonderful music this whole weekend. We had a ball listening to you.
All the points are fantastic points. I just want to say, from having done this, excuse me, all of these years, just the level of playing, of soloing, is so much higher than it was. There was a time when we might hear one or two people who could make it through a harmonic progression with any degree of sophistication. The last 5 or 6 years, it's been incredible, the number of people who actually can play solos that are coherent, that make sense, that address the harmonic progression, and that are in time. So I want to commend everyone who's worked on these solos, got to those chord changes on the piano, did all the extra work. This is not a skill that's the easiest in the world to learn and stay in time. It's been fantastic. I would like to see us focus on our rhythm sections. Still, I think that our rhythm sections, our drums and our bass and our balance, many times you come on the stage, because we're listening to a lot of different bands, it takes away the whole thing of the amp or the mic or the sound. We're playing with the basic same setup. One group comes with youngsters who can play. But when the sound is not good and the balance is not good, it's not possible to evaluate. The most difficult relationship in the jazz band is the bass and the drum relationship. It's worse than Republicans and Democrats. Let's think about it. The softest instrument has to play with the loudest instrument. The lowest instrument is playing with the highest pitch, which is the cymbal. And they have to play the exact same beats on every beat. Whew, boy, that's hard. We have to become conscious of what it takes for us to find that mean rhythm and stay inside of it. The last thing I'm going to say about what I would like to see us do is really, I've looked at all of my youngsters who came up, who played something that they did not like playing. I looked at everybody when they missed the last note or when they messed up a part, when they feel like they let other people down. Let me tell you something, you didn't let anybody down. It's a part of being a human being. We try for things and we don't reach them. But with what Jeff just said about that first note you hit on the piano, did you play that note and somebody say, don't play that note? They said, you hear that note my baby is playing? That's a whole concerto I just heard. Keep that feeling. I loved a lot of the responses to missing notes, to missing parts. I want to see you keep your head up and be like, okay, I missed that one, but check these out. I always say, check Louis Armstrong out if you ever hear him miss a note on a recording. Listen to the next 6 notes. They're like, okay. And finish strong. When you set out to do something, finish right. You're not finished. We played, okay, that's only one part of your experience. You're not finished with this experience. You're finished with this particular stage of this experience when you leave here, when you leave these students, when you get home, when you go into your respective rooms. Then you are finished. Right now, we're still into whatever this is. Learn to finish with more intensity even than you started. On that note, I'm going to say that the judges, this has been the most peaceful panel that we've ever had. I don't know why. When you look at us, we represent a lot of different demographics. But for some reason, this was not filled with contention and fighting and going back to the videotape and arguing and threatening to fight each other and get bands together that would have a battle of the bands. And none of that took place this year. We discussed things civilly. We did not always agree on everything, but we came to a common judgment that we all feel strongly about. Does it mean it's exactly right? Judging is subjective. You hear some things, you don't hear other things. All we could do was bring our integrity and do the best we could do for you. Suffice it to say and let it be known that we're only interested in the music. Everybody has worked hard. Everybody is serious. But the decisions that these judges made against you that did not win conflict with mine. And here are the bands that they've chosen in no particular order. Dillard Center for the Arts. Tucson Jazz Institute. Denver School of the Arts. Now, one thing I would like to say is if you did not come in, we give a lot of awards. We've had a lot of great soloists. We have a lot of great sections. When people win something, they represent all of us. Don't be mad. Go have a good dinner and be back here for the concert at 7:30. One thing I also want to commend all of you on was the way that you listen to your colleagues. It's a lot of quality listening. I noticed that when somebody played something that was really inside the music, there was tremendous response from all of you. To develop your listening skills and your listening habits is something that will stay with you for your entire life. The one thing I'm very grateful for, coming from Kenner, Louisiana, and Brobridge, and all these little towns in Louisiana, is that at the age of 13 or 14, I developed the ability to hear Beethoven's music, Mozart's music, Stravinsky's music. Now I'm going outside of jazz because that was not music anyone I know listened to. My father's a jazz musician, so he was listening to jazz. But that now I can listen to music from other cultures and have a sophisticated way of hearing is a great gift that I've been given in my life. So I encourage you to develop even more your listening skills to other people. Listen to them with the same generosity that you listen to yourself with. And I feel that that is something that we've had so many examples of in this festival, and that is something for which I'm most proud of you. We're going to announce the awards after the concert. I'm going to try to get every one of your names right when I say them. If I don't say your name right, I'm very anal about that. Tell me so I can be on the microphone saying your name correctly. I will guarantee you it's going to be an hour of looking at names. And I want you to know that each of the certificates you get are not stamped. They are all signed. So Megan is going to come back out to give you all some details on tonight. And thanks to this wonderful panel of judges, and thank you all so much.